you guys will be able to submit that to us for consideration.
Thank you. And with all of this craziness going on, how will new cadets be fitted for their uniform?
All right, so great question. So historically, like I said, during your new student conference over the summer, that is whenever you guys come to town. That is whenever you meet with us specifically. And historically, you guys would have gone to our uniform distribution center to get fitted for uniforms. What we're going to do is we're going to transition that into FOW. So during FOW, we're going to set a time apart within your outfits and your units to actually go get fitted for uniforms. So since we can't meet personally with you during the school year, during the new student conference, because it's an online format, so we're going to do that during FOW. So that's going to be our freshman orientation week. Now, if everything decides to just get back to normal and late July, early August, if for whatever reason the restrictions are lifted, we may potentially allow some students to come by before FOW to get fitted, but that's kind of up in the air. There's no guarantee that's going to happen for right now. We're just planning for FOW.
And what exactly do I need to bring to FOW?
Great stuff. So we actually have a packing list that we're going to distribute to all of our potential cadets. Like I said, we are finalizing that document as we speak. That should be available in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, everything, we're going off of May 1st date. So everybody has the ability to join the university and, more importantly, be part of the Corps Cadets between now and August. Right now, Thursday, August the 13th, that is the start of freshman orientation week. However, we're going to start identifying and we're going to start giving you guys information in reference to the Corps Cadets early May. So stand by for that.
All right. And then how do I apply for Corps scholarships?
Great question. So Corps scholarships. So there's a couple ways that you can do Corps scholarships. Okay. There is no formal application. There is nothing additional that you have to do when it comes to scholarships. Right now, about 90% plus of our cadets are actually on scholarship, and we typically award more than 2,300 scholarships per year. Whenever students apply to the university and fill out the scholarship section, that is the information that we're going to use to determine what students are going to be eligible for certain scholarships. We offer 4 or 5 different types of scholarships, and they're going to be 4-year scholarships. Some scholarships may be increased as the merit goes up, but for our goal is to have scholarships for almost every student once August hits. Now, for students who did not fill out the scholarship application, those students will still be considered for scholarships in the fall. What we have to wait for is we have to identify who is not joining the Corps, who we awarded scholarships, and we're going to remove those scholarships, and then we're going to recycle them, and we're going to provide them for students who do not have scholarship consideration. In the topic of scholarships, some students also may have received a scholarship, whether it be a ROTC scholarship or a SOLO scholarship. Some of those scholarships may increase in value throughout the summer. It kind of depends on what we have available and based on your accolades and your GPA, all that good stuff. So those are additional scholarship fun facts you can kind of look forward to this summer and early fall.
Perfect. Michael, can you tell us a little bit more about the Corps? So one of the questions here is, it just came into my radar. Can you tell me kind of the elevator pitch of what is the Corps and why should I join?
So the Corps is the ROTC and Leadership Program at A&M. A&M was founded as a military school in 1876 and was that way for about the first 90 years. The Corps is a great place to learn leadership development, and for those that want to go in the military, obviously a great way to do that. The Corps is one of the 6 senior military colleges out there, the largest of them all, with all the branches. For those that want to be in the Aggie Band, they have to be in the Corps. If you want a sense of tradition, you can be in the Corps, guaranteed housing. There's a lot of different reasons. People join for various reasons, but leadership is one of the main things that we're going to provide to the students that join.
Thank you. This is a question a little bit more about the dorms. So what are fish allowed to have in their dorms? Are we allowed to hang anything up on the wall, like a calendar or anything like that?
All right, so that's a really good question. All right, so when it comes to the dorms, okay, so the Corps Cadets just finished a complete quad renovation in 2017. We spent more than $200 million to renovate our dorms. So in essence, we have one of the most newest dorms on campus and actually one of the most affordable dorms on campus. You know, the Corps Cadets is a senior military academy. We're one of 6 nationwide. So outside of the service academies, you have 6 and we're one of them. We're going to be one of the largest Corps Cadet programs in the nation. As a freshman, you're going to have limited resources in reference to what you can do and not do in your dorm. There's certain privileges that you earn. There's a lot of things that you have now that you take for granted that over time, we're going to teach you how to appreciate what you have. So in reference to your freshman year, it is a military service, it is a senior military academy lifestyle. So there are certain things that you will be able to have, and there's certain things that you will not be able to have and bring. And then again, all that information will be provided to you in the early stages of May. So when it comes time to, trying to figure out what I can and cannot bring, we will let you know specifically via email and a PDF document of what is good to go and what's not good to go.
All right, and Michael, this question, maybe you can answer it. So I'm interested in the Parsons Mounted Cavalry. Can you explain a little bit of what their role is and kind of what the day-to-day is for them?
I'll do my best. First of all, the CAV is open to juniors and seniors in the Corps. There's an application and other things they have to go through to do it. The Corps is involved in both the march and the parades around the state of Texas. They go outside the state to represent the university. No equestrian skills are required. So if you have never ridden a horse before, you go to an equestrian class, how to ride a horse. There is some training that goes on. It is a very select process to be able to join the CAV, but we'll take care of all of that once they join the Corps and they get to the freshman and sophomore year.
Thank you. And then just a question, either of you can answer this, but are we going to receive a standard in the mail package, or will it all just be PDF, kind of a manual?
That will be provided to the student upon registration during FOW. So once you show up, that's something that will be given to you.
Thanks. And then when can I expect to find out what outfit I'm in, or how do I apply for the outfit that I want to be?
Great. So like I mentioned earlier, starting in May, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start sending out information in reference to how you can actually go about a unit selection application. So we're going to give you guys a link, and then based on that link, we're gonna ask you a variety and series of questions, and you're gonna designate your top 4 choices in reference to what outfit you want to join. It is somewhat first come, first serve. There are some outfits that are going to be a little bit more popular than others. There are some outfits that will require additional vetting before a student can kind of join that outfit. But as soon as you receive that communication via email, it's probably going to be in your best interest to submit that as soon as possible. Requesting an outfit is not a guarantee. Combat staff, we're still going to look at the number of students, the amount, how many students applied, and how many they can fit. So depending on the total volume that we forecast for the fall, we may have to make some adjustments. That's why it's called an application. So it's not a guarantee. But I will say the sooner you do it, the better.
So I know this we don't have all the answers for it, but it's one of the questions on here is if A&M continues to do online classes in the fall, which has not been discussed yet, will it be mandatory to purchase the core dining plan, the football pass, etc.? And how will the uniforms work?
All right, so when it comes to dining plan, if you are in the Corps Cadets, by definition, you have to purchase a meal plan. You will have a couple options. One's going to be a little more affordable than the other. And as far as uniforms, that's something that will be a small additional cost in reference to your overall cost of attendance. So whenever you factor in your meal plan, whenever you factor in the cost of the dorms and your uniform, that's all pretty much going to be around the same, maybe a hair more compared to if you were living outside of the quad. So if you're living on North Side, Hullabaloo, White Creek, or FHK, whatever, at that point, you're looking at the same value. Now, if you consider the Corps Cadet scholarship that you more likely will receive, that actually makes it a better value in reference to being in the Corps. We also do have to consider, haircuts and things of that nature. So you can kind of anticipate about $200, give or take, based on how fast or how quickly your hair grows in reference to haircuts. And then also we do have some core dues that will be due at the beginning. It's about $50.
And so you touched base a little bit on that, but is core housing mandatory? And if it's not, can you talk about the difference between core housing and regular housing?
All right, so anybody who joins the Corps Cadets is required to be in Corps housing with few exceptions. So typically that means students who are married, have children, and or have prior military service and or are currently in the military, whether it be reserves or active duty. Anybody who is not in the Corps, they can choose regular housing anywhere on campus off the quad. But if you decide to join the Corps Cadets, you will have to apply for Corps housing and only complete phase 1 of housing. And that is super simple, and housing is guaranteed. So that's also an added benefit. So if you apply a little bit late to the university and maybe you got your admission offer a little bit late, just know that housing is guaranteed on the quad. We will gladly take you with open arms.
Michael, so they asked a little bit of the normal schedule for the Corps. So can you talk about what it looks for those in the band? And then Jerry, can you talk about those for those who are not in the band?
Okay, so for those in the band, the schedule is very similar to what Mr. Peralta will go over. For the band, they're going to get up just like everybody else early, probably a little after 5 o'clock in the morning. Get up and do some physical fitness, but that will be abridged, that are shorter. So that way they can go to breakfast, eat breakfast pretty fast, and cross straight to the band hall for practice. The band does practice 6 days a week because they're doing a new drill, new music every single week. From there, I will turn it over to Jerry so he can go over the rest of the schedule.
All right, so I'm actually going to share my screen. I'm going to give you guys the ability to see specifically what our Corps organization looks like and a typical daily schedule looks like. So go ahead and hang tight. Give me 1 second while I share that with you guys. It's a lot easier to see than for me to just talk about it. Okay, so can you see my typical daily schedule?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, all right, so here we go. So in reference to the university, in reference to the Corps Cadets, we get a lot of questions of, well, what does a typical day of a cadet look like? Okay, so because we all know and acknowledge that this is a somewhat of a senior military academy, we are going to wake up early every single day. Some days you can wake up early as 5. Some days you're looking at 5:30, 5:45, but your day typically starts right around 5:45, 5:55. The unit that you're in, the alpha commander that you're in at that point is going to designate what's going to be happening that day. So it could be a variety of things that will be happening in the morning. It could be uniform drills. It could be instruction. It could be PT. It could be intramural sports. It could be a combination of all the above. Your upperclassmen may come in there and check your uniform, check your beds. They might inspect your rooms to make sure everything's on par. And then after that, you might go on a small run, or after that, you might go outside and do some physical activity. Right around 6:45, 6:55, we kind of go back to the dorms. We get ready for formation, and between 7 o'clock and about 7:30, that's when we do formation and we have breakfast. So 2,000 plus cadets will form up every single morning. The brigadier will blow calls, and at that point, 2,000 plus cadets will be fed at Duncan Dining Center in 30 minutes or less. Around 7:30, the academic day starts. So between 7:30 and 4 o'clock, that is whenever you guys go to class. That's when you study. That's when you go back to sleep and rest. That is whenever you go off campus and get haircut. That is when you run errands. During the academic day, you are free to do anything you like. If you're going to class, if you're meeting with a professor, if you're going to any form of meeting that requires you to go into the academic buildings, any academic building, or the MSC or anything of that nature, you're required to be in uniform. If you're just going to be hanging out in your dorm, or if you're just going to be doing personal stuff, if you're going to be going off campus, then at that point you will not be required to wear a uniform. Okay, so during the academic day, that is your time. There's no scheduled cadet activities at that point. Use your time wisely at your discretion. Like I said, around 4 o'clock, 4:30, that's when unit activities start in the afternoons. Again, that's going to be up to your commanding officer and potentially your first sergeant. At that point, what you're going to be doing is additional PT. You might be going on a run. You might be doing intramural sports. You might be doing uniform drills. There's a variety of things that you might be doing during unit activities, and also kind of depends on what ROTC you're in. So depending on what ROTC you're in, depending on your units, depending on whether you're in the brigade, you're in the wing, or you're in the regiment, everything is going to be designated by the commanding officers. Around 6 o'clock, 6:15, we start getting ready for evening formation. At 6:30, we have evening formation again, so all 2,000 plus cadets will form up. The commanding officers report to the major unit commanders. The major unit commander reports into the corps commander. Corps commander reports into the commandant. coming out signs off, and all of you will march into Duncan, and we'll feed another 2,000 plus cadets all at once. At 7:30, we transition into evening study time. We understand that the Corps is physically and mentally challenging. At that point, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we are on top of your grades. Our biggest thing right now is to make sure that you guys are getting good grades. We understand that the Corps Cadets takes a lot of your time, but at the same time, we're going to give a lot of that time back in the reference to academics. So whenever we look at academics right now, about 50% of the Corps are engineers, followed by a huge cohort of business students, agriculture, and architecture majors. So when it comes to all 11 plus different colleges on campus and 100 plus majors, we pretty much have a presence throughout every single department. So academics, that's one of our biggest strong suits. We take pride that our freshmen are going to have a higher GPA compared to the non-freshmen outside of the quad. Last year, we had about a 3.14 overall GPA. So we take pride in making sure that you guys have every tool in reference to your academics. Whenever we built the quad, we also added 4 leadership learning centers. So these leadership learning centers are going to have mentors, advisors. You're going to have staff who are going to help you as far as your academics. Depending on your major, you may be required to attend some study sessions that we pay for in advance. You're going to have lounge areas. You're going to have relaxation stations. You're also going to have personal study rooms and computer labs. So these leadership learning centers are strategically placed on the quad, and anybody can go in there, even non-cadets. So if you have, a couple of friends that are in your class and you want to invite them over so you can study, you can literally use those facilities. So the leadership learning centers are open to the entire university, and we actually have a Starbucks on the quad as well. We affectionately call it Quad Bucks. So that's going to be right next to dorm 2 and between dorm 4, and it's something that you'll have at your disposal as well. So again, because we know that the Corps Cadets is challenging, we're going to make it as comfortable for you throughout the day and of course in the evenings. So 7:30, 11, that's what we call evening study time. Right around 11 o'clock, then we call it lights out. Your day is officially over. Now, between 11 and 5 a.m. the next morning, if you have to study, we're going to let you study. There is a formal process where you're going to let your upperclassmen know that you want to study. So when it comes time to if you have a test 8 a.m. the following morning, the night before, if you need to study into midnight or 1 o'clock, we're more than definitely going to let you do that. On the same token, we want you to be involved on the quad. We want you to join clubs and organizations. We want you to do all the fun stuff. Okay, we want you to be a regular college student. So if you have an organization, if you're part of a club and they're meeting at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, there is a formal process where you let your upperclassmen know that you're going to go to a academic event, and they'll let you know. So you'll never be restricted on joining clubs or things of that nature. So, but for the most part, that's what a typical day looks like. On Wednesday, this will be the only major difference. On Wednesday, there is no unit activity, and evening study time actually goes from 6 o'clock all the way to about 11. So Wednesday is kind of the midway point of the week. You have additional time to study and handle your academics. And then on Fridays, Fridays are typically done around 6. In some cases, your outfit might have some intramural sports. You might have some additional instruction going on around 4:30. That kind of depends on how good you guys behaved or not throughout the week in the fall semester. And then, of course, on Saturdays, you have football games. So we have anywhere between 6 to 8 football games every year. And Saturdays are pretty much going to be scheduled in advance. If you are part of the Corps Cadets, you will be required to purchase a sports pass to include minimum football. So the Corps Cadets has a major presence at every home football game. And as far as the band, if you are going to be a member of the band, a sports pass is not required for you to purchase. You actually get to go to every football game for free. We also do travel to a few away games, so you get to travel with the band, and that's going to be really, really fun experience. Okay, Sundays, your day to rest. During the spring semester, since we don't have any football games on the weekends, typically once Friday rolls around, that's your weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get to do whatever you like. Sometimes kiddos go home for the weekend. Sometimes people stay and finish their projects. But right around 6 o'clock, 6:30 on Sundays, that's when everybody has to report back to their outfits. There's typically an outfit meeting, and then we start back with evening study time, and we work on our academics, and then we repeat that for the rest of the semester, both the fall and the spring. So that's a long answer, but that's what a typical daily schedule looks like for a member of the Corps Cadets.
explain a little bit more of who gets to leave off campus and what days?
Mike, you want to do that one?
So did you say who gets to leave off campus or live off campus?
Leave. So go away for
Okay. So, I mean, cadets can go off campus during the academic day. They're free to go. There's no uniforms required off campus. During the evening study time, if they have tutoring at the off-campus tutoring, companies, and go to those tutoring programs. So we're not going to restrict them to campus, but during during the study time, if they have to request to go off campus. They can't just go off to someone's off campus room or Starbucks to hang out. But no uniform required. But during the academic day, they can come and go as they please.
Thanks. So if I'm a part of Blinn team, does the Corps provide any academic advising before getting to A&M?
So anybody who is part of the Gateway program or Blinn team is going to have a special advisor in reference to making sure that you're taking the appropriate classes and coursework to make sure that you meet admission requirements. The Blinn team program is designed to be 2 years long. So you're looking at 15 hours at A&M, 45 hours at Blinn. Typically, don't quote me on the number, 75% of the students actually do not complete Blinn team within the 2-year window, because most students actually transition into campus after year 1. So after year 1, depending on your GPA, depending on the coursework that you took, your academic advisor within your department and major is going to assist you in making sure that you transition to the university full time. But yes, the university and the Corps Cadets, we have advisors and staff to help you to make sure that you're taking the appropriate coursework and you're getting good grades, because trust me, we want you here sooner than later.
And can you talk a little bit more of how Blinn team coincides with the FISH experience with the Corps?
All right, it's a great question. So a lot of people think that, if I'm in Blinn team, I'm an inferior product to the university. Well, I'm going to set the record straight. That is most definitely not the case. A Blinn team student has all the rights and privileges of being a regular A&M student. The only difference is, out of the 4 or 5 classes that you're taking 1 or 2 of those classes at A&M, you're taking 2 or 3 of those classes at Blinn. The only difference is that you have to either get in your car or jump on the bus, drive 4 miles away, take your class, and come on and ride back. So in reference to the Corps Cadets, Blinn team is not going to be an issue in reference to your academic day. All Corps activities do take place before 7:30, and typically classes don't start till 8 a.m. One of the things that you will learn as freshmen is 8 a.m.s are something that you think in your head makes sense, but once you're here, it's probably a good idea to not take 8 o'clocks. Typically a 9, 10, or a 9 o'clock class starting the day off, that's going to be the more attractive option. But as freshmen, you guys will have you will learn the hard way that not all blocks, not all classes have you'll have the best fit. So you guys will have to wait till your sophomore year to kind of get the better dibs on classes. I will say that if you are an honor student, you have access to register for classes first. So whenever you choose your spring classes, whenever you choose any classes, typically you'll have a better selection of that. So, the hierarchy is going to be athletics, honor students, seniors, juniors, sophomores, and then freshmen. But again, there's nothing that the Corps is going to be able to get in the way of your academics. If anything, we're going to encourage that you have the best success in reference to getting good grades and taking your classes.
Can you go into talking a little bit about the meal plan that is with the Corps? Are we required to all sit together and eat as an outfit, or how does all of that work?
All right, so that's a great question. So whenever you guys form up at formation, you're gonna have, the 3 wings: first wing, second wing, third wing. You're gonna have the brigades, first, second, third brigade, etc. So whenever you guys go into Duncan, you're going to have a designated area where your outfit is, typically sits. When it comes to our Duncan Dining Center, it's a cafeteria style. There's a variety of options as far as food. So yes, all freshmen will typically sit together alongside their upperclassmen, and there will be designated areas that you will sit within Duncan. And again, all that will be covered at freshman orientation week. We'll kind of tell you, here's a little area, always look for this upperclassman, always look for this guy. Typically that's going to be the guide on, so you want to find your outfit flag and sit by it. So that'll be something that will be taught during freshman orientation week.
And can you guys talk a little bit about what are the requirements for the Rudder Rangers?
Michael, you want to handle that one?
No, Colonel Hawes, can you address any of that?
Yes, Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Rudders Rangers is an example of one of the ROTC special units. So we have Rudders Rangers for Army, Navy SEAL Platoon for Navy ROTC, Recon Platoon for Marine Corps, and then there's one for Air Force. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but at the beginning of the year, typically there'll be an announcement that goes out during the mealtime and also electronically for those that are interested in Rudders Rangers or any of the other special units to come to a meeting. And at the meeting, they'll put out all the information that you need, where to go, you know, what time, what to wear, what the requirements are to join. But there's lots of great ROTC special units, core clubs and teams that you can participate in. And then you'll also have the opportunity to do the same for university activities as well. Also, just wanted to address one question that was asked earlier that I don't think we answered. It was a hypothetical about what happens in the fall if this COVID continues. We're planning right now is to be as much back to normal as we can. So hopefully everything will be kind of status quo before the COVID, but who knows? Those decisions will be made most likely well above our level at the university level with respect to meal plans, housing, and all those other things. So more to follow on that. Right now we're planning, like I say, to go back to normal, but there'll be more info on it later this summer if it looks like it's going to be something different. That's it from me.
Thank you, Colonel. Jerry, can you talk about TASSP?
Yes, the Texas Armed Services Scholarship Program. Okay, I have a PDF pulled up here. Do you guys see that right here?
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Okay, so this program is going to be designed for our students who are Texas residents and are aspiring to go into the military, whether it be the Guard, reservists from the state of Texas. So this is a really neat scholarship program that will be available to you as early as next week. This scholarship program has not gone live yet, and this will be sent to you whenever we conclude our presentation. So this is something that you guys are going to have available to you. There is a time frame and a deadline, and there are certain steps that you have to do to apply. So if you are considering going into the military, and if you aspire to have additional financial opportunities, just make sure you check this out. Make sure you reach out to your state representative and make sure you get that nomination and appointment. So this is going to be an additional scholarship that will be made available to any student who is potentially going into the military.
Thank you for that, Jerry. Michael, can you talk to us a little bit of what is the tryouts? How is that going to be handled, and how can we become a part of the band?
All right, so band auditions are now being done via Zoom. Originally, it'd be done either online for people or in person throughout the semester. The audition form is located on the music activity website. That's musa.tamu.edu. The audition music is on there. You'll fill out the form, you'll select a date. That date is no later than May 9th. You'll do the audition around a little after May 9th. The Aggie Band will let you know if you've made the cut. At that point, then they will assign you to a band unit. An opportunity when you're registering for the audition to request a unit that you want to be a part of. There are 6 units in the Aggie Band. Regardless, you're going to be in the marching band. Those that fail the audition do have an opportunity to retake the audition as long as it's before the May deadline.
Thank you. Can one of you guys talk about what does sports look like in the Corps? Do you guys have your own? Is this something that we do with REC?
Yes, so this is something that I actually want to show you guys here. So I will pull up a screen here. That way you can kind of see this. It also ties in our special units. So just give me 1 second while I get this ready for you guys. So when it comes to the sports, a lot of our outfits will actually go and play intramural sports against other organizations and other fraternities and sororities and a lot of other different entities within the university. We also have our own core athletics program. So we do men's soccer, baseball, marksmanship unit. We have tennis, lacrosse, men's basketball, women's soccer. We have a marathon marathon team, and we also have a triathlon team. So it's in reference to special units, we also have our fish drill team, Parsons cavalry, SEAL platoon, Brothers Rangers. We have a really neat cyber operations program. We have our honor society, and then of course we have the ROTC volunteers. They are the official honor guard of the state of Texas. So anytime there's a very special event that the governor of the state of Texas is hosting, we will be there to make sure that we represent the state of Texas. So these are all different things that you can do while in the Corps. I will remind you that there are some minimum requirements for certain units. For example, freshman drill team, you can only join freshman drill team as a freshman, and you must have a 2.5 GPA across the board to be part of most of our units. Some other units will have other requirements to join, and again, that's going to be more of a case-by-case basis. But you can start doing all this as early as your freshman year. So that's something that's going to be really neat for you guys. Whenever you guys get here, you can have lots of options and lots of opportunities to be involved, to be fit, and also just to build your camaraderie within your freshman class.
Michael, can you talk a little bit about the difference between the JROTC and the ROTC?
Basically, I mean, JROTC, that's high school type program. That's more of a, it is a leadership program, but when you get into Texas A&M, the ROTC program, that is still, again, leadership development, but with additional military training, and those that are considering a military path. I did not do JROTC in high school, so I can't speak specifically to that. But you're looking at, if you are in JROTC right now, if you come to A&M and do ROTC, it's what you did times 1,000.
Thanks. And can one of you guys talk a little bit more about the military training that comes with the Corps of Cadets?
Colonel Hawes, you wanna take that question?
Yes. So as Jerry has stated, we're a senior military college. So all of you, if you join the Corps, even if you're not interested in the military, you're going to get a minimum of 3 semesters of ROTC just to learn the basics about the military. And so some of you may ask, why would I want to know about the military? How could this help me, even if I'm not interested in serving? Well, many of you are going to ultimately end up doing work with the military, even if you're not in the service, either through contracting, engineering, support. The military is involved in all aspects of life in the United States. So if you have a basic understanding of the military, the rank structure, the culture, how it's organized, the basic leadership stuff, it's going to give you a huge leg up over your peers in your organization. So I talked to tons of our cadets who have gone on to jobs not associated with the military have told me that it paid off for them. And so you'll participate in an ROTC class, either Army, Air Force, or Navy Marine. Again, just to learn about the how that service is organized, its history, its rank structure, basic leadership, those kind of things. It's really kind of a fun class. It's an easy class. If you go to class and do the requirements, it's an easy A, so also help kind of boost your GPA a little bit. So it's not a negative thing. And again, I think Jerry said about 40% of our students choose to go in the military. The other 60% do not. So it's totally up to you if you choose to go in the military. And if you do become interested, there's opportunities for additional scholarships through ROTC. So for example, I came to A&M not interested in their ROTC. I was not in junior ROTC. I just joined the Corps because my dad was in the Corps. I changed my mind later. I was awarded an ROTC scholarship that helped pay for school for me. My brother came after I did. He chose not to do it. So it's really totally up to you. So that's kind of the ROTC in a nutshell.
Thank you. And so going off a little bit into more of the squadrons, can you guys talk about the different squadrons that the Corps offers and how do we pre-register for them?
All right, so I'm going to show you a Corps organization chart. So that way you can kind of see what the Corps is going to look like starting this fall. Okay, so here we have the 2020-21 Corps organization chart. So you're going to have all four major units. You're going to have the Army. You're going to have all the different options as far as outfits spread out throughout the quad. You can have your Air Force, you have your first wing, your second wing, your third wing, and then you have the band. So the band is going to assign you a unit based on what instrument you play, all that good stuff. And then everyone else kind of has the ability to select an outfit. Like I said earlier, once we get into the month of May, we're going to communicate directly with everyone who is in our system and has registered for core housing and signed up for a new student conference in reference to how to select a unit. That core selection unit application will go out, and you will submit your top 4 choices. And once you submit the application, we're going to review availability. We're going to review how many cadets we have up to that day, and you will receive your outfit selection about 2 weeks after after that initial deadline. So again, all that information will go out in the next couple weeks. Just hang tight. In the meantime, what you can do is you guys also have the ability to go online. You can use social media. You can also look at the different options on our website as well. So if you go to our website, you also have the ability to look at all the different outfits and stuff when it comes to what each individual outfit it has. One thing I will also show you guys is if you guys click on the Contact Us button, and if you click on Future Cadet Contact, for those of you who are not in our system, for those of you who are willing to take the next step, go ahead and send us this basic 5-question information. Give us your last name, your first name, your birthday, and then let us know that you're kind of on the fence. Let us know you're a freshman, and then let us know some additional information, and we will reach out to you specifically. So we're going to give you, we're going to shoot you an email with a lot of really neat information. That way you have a better informed decision in reference to the core cadets. And we'll also send you a core brochure as well. So when you get a chance, just make sure you visit the core website. That can be core, CORPS.TAMU.edu, and click on Contact Us, and then click on the Future Cadet Contact Form.
Hey, Jerry, show them on that website where they can look at the outfit descriptions too. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second while I get that.
So while he's pulling that up, I just want to also emphasize to the students that, we have about 45 different outfits. The reality is that the outfits are all generally the same. They do the same activities. They all eat at the same place. They do the same schedule. They do the same type of activities. They just have a different name. They have a different T-shirt, a different symbol, a different little yell they do. So we encourage you to learn more about the units on the website, but don't get too freaked out over it. Don't get wrapped around the axle. Don't get obsessed over it. No matter which outfit you join, you'll end up joining the best outfit in the Corps because that's what they all believe. And there you go. Yeah, so it's under Cadet Life.
So whenever we look at the Core Cadets website, whenever we go to Cadet Life, you click on Core Units. Here you're going to have all the different units that the Core Cadets has to offer. Whenever you click on an individual unit, you're going to find out why they believe they are the best outfit on the quad. Okay, so if you ask me, Squadron 2 is going to be the best outfit on the quad. They're easy come, easy go. They're the ones who's going to be one of the oldest outfits on the quad. So this is my former outfit. Michael Hudson, class of 97, he will tell you that the band is going to be one of the best options you can do. And Colonel Haas will tell you that, a different outfit is going to be the best one. So no matter what outfit you join, you're going to choose the best one. So again, whenever you guys go to the Core website, you'll click on Cadet Life, you click on Core Units, and then you'll see all the different outfits that we have. So you can kind of go on here as well to look at what each unit symbolizes, what they stand for, and what other opportunities you'll have. So that's something that you can do.
Thank you. For those of us that are interested in joining the military, what kind of officer training does the Corps provide for us?
Colonel Haas, you want to handle that one as well?
Yes, so that's the specific purpose of the ROTC programs. The ROTC programs are separate from the Corps, but we're all connected. The purpose of the ROTC programs is specifically to prepare young men and women to be officers in that particular service, either Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marine Corps. So if you're interested in being in the military, they have a process that you'll go through to what they call contract. That's where you commit to serve. Most of those are associated with scholarships. And then once you're contracted, you'll do all 4 years of the ROTC classes. You'll participate in some summer training. And then upon graduation, assuming you've met all of their requirements, you will be commissioned as an officer in that service. So it's a great, for those that are interested in serving or those that want to at least check it out, it's a great, great opportunity. I ended up, again, I went to A&M not with the intent of doing ROTC, but I changed my mind. I did 4 years of ROTC, was on 2 years of scholarship benefits, ended up doing 28 years in the Army. So it ended up being a great option for me. It's not for everybody, but for those that interest you, it's a great way to go.
And Colonel Haas, for those of us that aren't interested in the military, do we still have to take military classes?
So yes, everybody that joins the Corps, with exception of the transfer students, they're a little different, but freshmen, true freshmen who join in the Corps have to take the ROTC class their first 3 semesters. So fall and spring of the freshman year, fall of the sophomore year, they have to take that ROTC class, either Army, Air Force, or Navy Marine, with no military obligation. And then at the conclusion of that 3rd semester, if they don't want to go in the military, they're done with their ROTC requirement. They don't have to take any more ROTC classes. And then their junior and senior year, we'll focus on preparing them for the regular job market, the private sector or the government non-military. So regardless of whether you're going in the military, the private sector, the government, we don't care. We're just going to make sure that we develop you into the best leader we can.
Thank you. And Michael, for those of us that are interested in the band, what will that look like in regards to the ROTC classes? Will we be taking those, or will that be replaced with band rehearsal?
So they'll take the ROTC class in conjunction. They'll also take the band class, which is a kinesiology class. They'll register for that during course registration. That'll be an 8 o'clock class. The Aggie band will send out additional information about that, how to take it, pass, fail, etc. So those in the Aggie band will take a band class and the ROTC class.
And then if I sign up for a specific squadron and I'm there, I decide that it just isn't the right fit for me, can I move into another one?
Short answer is yes.
Yeah, so the short answer is yes, you can request to move. And then it just depends on, there's got to be a bed available, an open room available. But most students who join end up staying in the unit they're in because they, after the first couple of weeks, they make really good friends. They get to know the upperclassmen. They get over the initial anxiety and the stress of being a college student, and that becomes their home and their family. But there are cases sometimes where it's just not the right fit, and it's not unusual for us to have some freshmen request to move units. And that's no problem. Again, we just have to have an open bed to move you into.
Thanks. And the final question is, we've used a lot of, Corps jargon. Is there any place that I can find what everything means, especially if I'm somebody that's new and don't know too much about it?
Yeah, you can find it on August 13th, Thursday, FOW. We'll teach you everything there is to know about the Corps jargon.
Well, thank you so much for letting us do this live Q&A. I think that's all of the questions we have, but I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Admissions will be doing 2 scholarships. Please keep a lookout on your email. We will have that out before 5 p.m. And so for that, only the recipients will receive that email. So thank you guys for coming out, both everyone from the Corps as well as all of our viewing participants. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank y'all.